Adelaide has some of the country's finest and largest organs, the Town Hall, the Elder Conservatory and in particular the Festival Theatre. But now the State Opera Company and the Organ Music Society argue far too few South Australians are getting to see or hear the Festival Theatre organ, and they're calling for it to go into a new purpose-built concert hall.
It's one of the sort of hidden resources. We have these great things lying around Adelaide, and it's good to sort of highlight. So we've got this, we've paid a lot of money for it, you know, why aren't we getting the sort of value out of it?
They're literally a living, breathing thing. I mean, all that air going through the pipes and all the rest. It's it's a completely unique sort of instrument. It's wonderful.
This wonderful contraption is Adelaide's Jubilee organ, and one of the people who knows it best is Peter Kelsall from the Organ Music Society.
Probably the most obvious pipes are these ones that look like a series of car horns sticking out horizontally from the instrument, and these are awfully over the top.
No, not at all.
Not at all, no. One almost needs earplugs, I think, when they're being used.
It's affectionately called the Beast, but Peter Kelsall is not the only one who has an affection for it. It was built to mark the Queen's Silver Jubilee in 1977. For much of the time, it's been looked after by Phil Haddy. He's the Beast Keeper.
And I sort of unofficially took on the role of looking after it, and I have done for about 20 years. When it's working well. Occasionally, when I first started, it had a few gremlins in the works, which I've gone through gradually and fixed.
It's hard to think of a 13,000 kilogram colossus as a shrinking violet, but Peter Kelsall argues too few people in South Australia know about this organ, and so too, in fact, does one of its major users, the head of the State Opera Company, Tim Sexton.
It is beautifully designed. And it was a very, very big commitment. And I think South Australians, it's a pity they don't get to hear it a little bit more than they do, because it's their organ.
Indeed it is. South Australians from all walks of life raised $400,000 back in the 1970s to help pay for it. For all of its 30-plus years, it's been in the Festival Theatre, sliding in and out of view as needed on a unique hovercraft arrangement. The theatre argues the organ is readily seen by the public.
We're quite satisfied that it's heard by a wide range of audiences. It could be better, but it's significant numbers.
Others, though, fear the audience for organs is in decline. When he's not playing the Jubilee organ, Peter Kelsall can be found at the Pilgrim Church in Flinders Street. Puns aside, he says this is the biggest organ in Adelaide, and it has a checkered history. The central part was brought to the city in the 1800s from a church in England, but like Grandpa's axe, bits and pieces have been added over the years.
Since the early 70s, this instrument has been expanded, enlarged, refined, revoiced, and had various things added to it and taken away from it, so that we've ended up with what we have now.
On a good week, Peter Kelsall estimates maybe 40 to 60 people will hear it on a Sunday, a mark of declining church attendances. Why the Jubilee organ isn't getting as big an audience as some feel it deserves is another matter. The Festival Theatre, Tim Sexton and Peter Kelsall say, has been a good home, but it's used for many purposes, and the pair argues that's limiting the organ's potential. It sometimes spends months packed away in its box. The solution, they say, is a purpose-built concert hall.
But I wonder whether it's the right theatre for it to be in. It's something that really should be gracing a dedicated concert hall, because I think it suffers a little bit from an inability to be used to its full extent.
I think it's a case of an excellent instrument, possibly in the wrong building. It's certainly not in a good acoustic for the instrument, and it's a shame.
Well, you can't put it somewhere else. This is a major house in this country. It was the first house in this country. Nearly 900,000 people come to this establishment every year. So, you know, you can't have a house that's half equipped. It's de rigueur, we have an organ, and that's where it is, that's where it will stay.
Given the cost of a concert hall and the state of the budget, chances are he's right. But the risk, according to organ aficionados, is that without being seen and heard more often, there's no way of winning new audiences, and even the most affectionate wonder about the future.
After this current generation of organists, is gone or have moved on or give up, I do have concerns about where our next generation of players are going to come from, what they're going to do, and who's going to support and encourage them.